Hi guys, welcome to this video. I am here to introduce to you our 2025 make-along that we will be starting in January in the Fibernymph Dye Works community. And for 2025, our make-along is called the Choose Your Own Adventure Make-along, which is pretty succinct, and I hope you will enjoy the freedom that it offers you to participate in the greater make-along while choosing your own adventure. And I'm going to tell you what all of that means. First though, before I forget, the hashtag that we're going to use for this, if you want to post about it on social media, will be hashtag FDWAdventure2025. So if you post on Instagram, please use that hashtag throughout the year for your projects, for your chatter about your projects. Yeah, and that will be instrumental when it comes to prizes, which we will talk about a little further into the video. But for all of the information I'm about to share with you, you will also be able to find it in a blog post that I will have pinned at the top of the Fibernymph Dye Works blog on my website. That will be linked below in the description box. And you will also be able to find all this information in a make-along thread for next year that will be in the Fibernymph Dye Works Ravelry group. So 2 different places. Hopefully that makes it accessible to you. And I will put the bullet points of everything in the description box below the video here on YouTube as well. This video will be obviously available throughout the year. You just need to search for it as the year goes by if you want to watch it again to hear everything that I'm about to tell you. All right, so the Choose Your Own Adventure Make-Along for 2025. It's going to have 3 main components, and I am looking at my notes to make sure I don't forget anything. The first aspect of the make-along is choosing what your adventure is going to be. I am leaving this pretty much wide open for you. As I've done in recent make-alongs, I'm trying to keep the rules pretty loose. I want it to be something fun and accessible for everybody, no matter what you're crafting, how much time you have, how involved you want to be or don't want to be. So that's why this aspect of it, very, very open. You can choose your 2025 making adventure in many ways. In the past, we've done lists. This year, you had the ability to make your project pool list in the group. Some people like to put projects into bags and open them each month. If that's your adventure, you are welcome to do that. Some people like to focus on working through stash throughout the year. Maybe that's going to be your focus. You might have different categories of crafting that you would like to focus on next year. That's perfectly okay as well. And if you want to spend the year working on finished objects, that's also okay. There's one caveat to that I will mention in a little bit, but you are totally welcome to finish up finished objects this year as well. How you plan your adventure is also totally up to you. I will be opening a planning thread in the group, which will be pinned at the top of the Ravelry group, as I've done in the past. It will be a no chatter thread, but it will basically just be there for your benefit to use however you want, because I know some of you say it's really helpful to have a post in the group that you can keep going back to and modifying and you know, marking things finished or taking certain things off and putting other things on. Whatever you want to do with that, that is just there for you as a tool for your planning purposes, not required at all. Let's see, what else? The chatter thread. Okay, so there will be the planning thread, which is optional. The chatter thread obviously is also optional, but that will be the place that if you want to come and hang out with us and chat with your fellow make-alongers about whatever you're working on, that's the place to come. That will be in the Ravelry group, and again, that will also be pinned. All of these groups that I'm mentioning, these threads, these will be in place mostly by the time this video is up. I think there will be one exception, but again, I'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, so the chatter thread will be there. That's where you can chat about everything. This year, I am making a slight change. Rather than having a separate thread for you to post your finished objects for the make along, you're going to post them just right in the chatter thread. I think that'll make it so much easier because I know a lot of times people want to talk about something that you've finished for the make along. So unless you've posted it both in the chatter thread and in the finished object thread, they don't really get a chance to do that because our finished object threads have always been no chatter threads. So we're just going to roll those all into one, do your chatting, talk about it while you're working about it on it if you want to, and then when it's finished, you can post it right there as well. And everybody can tell you how awesome your project is, which is always fun too. Okay, so that is the main choosing your adventure aspect of it. That's how that's going to work. Then several people mentioned that they really miss the Fibernymph Dye Works yarn or fiber aspect of the make along, which I used to do several years back. I haven't done it in the last few years, but they said they miss having that component that helps them to focus on using their Fibernymph Dye Works stash. I'm bringing that back for 2025, so I hope that will be an exciting part for you. So this is not instead of what I just described, but it's in addition to if you would like to take part in that. So this is if you have Fibernymph Dye Works yarn or fiber in your stash and you'd like to use it, I highly encourage that. Or if you're buying new things throughout the year, next year, and you want to use those, you're welcome to do that. I will have a special finished object thread for the make along specific to people who have used Fibernymph Dye Works yarn or fiber. There is where you're going to post those finished objects for prize purposes only. So I will be doing a prize draw for people who have done Fibernymph Dye Works related projects. I will have all the details about that. Like if your project has to contain X number of yards or grams or whatever. I think we're going to go with grams this year. Grams has worked out in the past to be the easiest way to measure things. So I don't know that I'm going to put limits on it. Like you could have a project that is mostly some other yarn, but if you did have a Fibernymph Dye Works component to it, I think that would probably be allowable. But when you read the guidelines in that thread, you'll know for sure, because I may put like a minimum grams for that. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that's where you're going to post that. Now, the catch for the Fibernymph Dye Works projects, any of those that are posted in the finished object thread for the Fibernymph Dye Works projects, those do have to be new projects as of January 1st, 2025. So FOs will not count there. If you have Fibernymph Dye Works FOs that you want to work on next year, though, and you finish them, you're welcome to post those in the regular chatter thread as your FOs, like any of your other FOs. In fact, whatever you post in the Fibernymph Dye Works project FO thread, you are also welcome and indeed invited to post them also in the chatter thread so we can see them and chat about them. So this Fibernymph Dye Works component, again, totally optional. You are not required to use my yarn or fiber for your projects. But if you have it and you want to use it, this is the place that you can put it, and that just gives you an extra chance at being a prize winner next year. All right, so then the third component of this is prizes. I love giving out prizes. I really enjoy prizes. Next year, we are going to keep it a little more manageable. I'm going to do them on a quarterly basis. So January, February, March, I will award in April, and so on. So regular, typical quarters of the year. There will be a prize that will come from the chatter / regular FO thread. So that'll be one. Then I will pull a prize winner from the Fibernymph Dye Works finished objects thread. And As much as it's so chaotic and weird, I am going to continue to draw an Instagram winner. So again, remember that you can use that hashtag FDW Adventure 2025 and be entered for a quarterly prize from that. And I'm going to do that again as I did this past year, since Instagram does not make it easy to just see posts from a particular time period. Anything that you post in Instagram with that hashtag throughout the year of 2025 will be eligible for that particular prize, the Instagram prize draw throughout the whole year, even if it's, September. I guess it wouldn't be September, right? January, March, April, May, June. So July, like if I'm doing the July drawing and it chooses a post from January, it's okay. The same post just cannot win twice throughout the whole year. So there's that. Yeah, so 3 prizes every quarter. And then the only addition that I'm going to put in there, since I am doing a Fibernymph Dye Works specific component to this make-along in 2025, is at the end of the year, if you participated in that aspect of it, the FDW finished object only, new projects as of January 1st, and you posted at least 800 grams worth of Fibernymph Dye Works projects, yarn or fiber, and if you spun the yarn in 2025 and then used that yarn to make a project, that counts. So that basically, like if you spun 200 grams of my fiber and then knit something using those 200 grams of yarn, you've got 400 grams. That is allowable. Anyway, if you use at least 800 grams worth of my yarn or fiber throughout 2025, at the end of the year, you will have earned yourself a free yarn prize from me that will be exclusive to this make-along. It will either be a special mini set, it could be a self-striping skein, I'm not sure what it's going to be. It might be a sock set, but you will get something special from me that will be at least 100 grams of yarn. So, or fiber. If you're a fiber person, I can do it in fiber for you. So that pretty much sums up what's going to be taking place next year. Again, I feel like that's pretty loose and open and inclusive, that you can make it what you want it to be, that will fit your making desires for next year, but also give it a little bit of structure that we can all work within. And again, we're adding back in the Fibernymph Dye Works component for those of you who are interested in doing that. If you have any questions about anything that I just talked about, feel free to leave it in the comments. If I left out some important piece of information, please feel free to let me know that, and I will make sure that that is added into the written version of this, both in the blog post and in the Ravelry thread. Yeah. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention is I recognize that if you want to take part in the Fibernymph Dye Works finished object component, but you are not able to access Ravelry, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together like a little submission form, an online submission form that you can use for your finished object, as long as you can provide a link where I can see your finished project and the information about it. So whether that's on a blog or on Instagram or wherever, as long as I'm able to access that, then I can include that when it's time to do the prize drawings. And it will also be included for the year-end totaling for that free prize, that free skein or braid or whatever of yarn or fiber. So I hope that covers everything. Again, I'm really looking forward to this. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I have some ideas for what I want to do, which I'm sure I'll talk about probably in an upcoming video. But until then, I'll be happy to answer your questions, and I will look forward to seeing you during the Make Along in 2025. Bye.